Nigeria, country blessed with abundant natural resources, yet its citizens live in darkness. Now, picture 1.5 trillion naira, enough money to light up an entire nation, vanishing into thin air. Welcome to Nigeria, where corruption in the power sector has orchestrated the greatest heist of the people's future, leaving 200 million souls fumbling in the dark. In this episode of the History of Corruption in Nigeria, an installment in the short history series brought to you by Sahara reporters, who are about to uncover the shocking details of a scandal so massive it could have powered Nigeria into the future. Instead, it plunged the nation deeper into darkness. But first, let's shed some light on Nigeria's power predicament. In a country where having 12 hours of electricity feels like winning the lottery, how did we get here? Nigeria, the giant of Africa, has been wrestling with its power demons for decades. It's a tale as old as the country itself, a nation rich in oil and gas, yet unable to keep its lights on. The irony is as thick as the smoke from millions of generators choking the air in cities across the country. Picture this, it's 2023. Nigeria, with its population of over 200 million, generates less electricity than Edinburgh, a city of less than 500,000 people. Let that sink in for a moment. The consequences? Businesses are crippled, hospitals operate in fear, and students study by candlelight. It's estimated that Nigeria loses $29 billion annually due to unreliable electricity. That's about 2% of its GDP going up in smoke, or should we say, darkness? But here's where the plot thickens. In a country desperate for power, how did 1.5 trillion naira, meant to illuminate the nation? Enter the greatest magic trick in Nigerian history, the vanishing act of 1.5 trillion naira. This isn't your everyday corruption. This is grand larceny on a national scale. Here's how the trick was pulled off. First, we have the classic inflated contract trick. Contracts for power projects were allegedly pumped up like balloons at a children's party. The difference? These balloons were filled with cash, not air, and they floated right into private pockets. Next, we have the ghost project illusion. Imagine paying for a power plant that exists only on paper. That's right, billions were allegedly allocated to projects that were about as real as a Nigerian prince's email promises. But wait, there's more. The Payment for Invisible Services Act saw funds released for services that were never rendered. It's like paying for a haircut and walking out balder than when you went in. And the grand finale? The collusion constellation, where government officials, power sector executives, and contractors allegedly joined hands in a corrupt cosmic dance, ensuring that the money kept flowing, just not where it was meant to go. The result? A 1.5 trillion naira black hole, sucking in the hopes and dreams of millions of Nigerians yearning for a brighter future. Consequences of this monumental fraud are as far-reaching as the darkness it has caused. Let's break it down. Imagine trying to run a business when your power supply is as reliable as a politician's promise. That's the reality for millions of Nigerian entrepreneurs. The result? Economic stagnation that's holding back Africa's largest economy. Now picture a hospital where life-saving equipment sits idle, waiting for power. Or a student trying to study for exams by the flickering light of a kerosene lamp. This is the daily reality for many Nigerians. Cost of living has skyrocketed as people spend a fortune on fuel for generators. It's like paying for electricity twice, once through your bills and again through your generator. And let's not forget the social unrest. The frustration of living in darkness has fueled protests and unrest across the nation. Turns out, people tend to get a bit cranky when they can't even charge their phones reliably. But here's the kicker. That 1.5 trillion naira could have changed everything. Could have expanded power generation, improved distribution networks, maybe even subsidized electricity for the poorest. Instead, it vanished faster than ice cream in the Sahara. So what's being done about this lights-out situation? Well, the government hasn't been entirely asleep at the switch. There have been attempts at privatization, market reforms, and setting up anti-corruption agencies. But so far, these efforts have been about as effective as using a candle to light up a football stadium. Tackling this deep-rooted corruption will require more than just flipping a switch. We're talking about strengthening anti-corruption institutions, promoting transparency, investing in skilled professionals to manage the sector, and encouraging citizens to shine a light on corrupt practices. It's a long road ahead, but remember, even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. The question is, will Nigeria's power sector see the light before the patience of its people runs out? And in a country blessed with abundant energy resources, how long will Nigerians continue to live in manufactured darkness? Thanks for watching this episode on the history of corruption in Nigeria. However, you would discover one of Nigeria's most bizarre corruption scandals in our other video, Nigeria's money laundering mansion, the Ikoyi billion saga. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because